Okay, so yes. Right, so we're looking at this 15-minute range yesterday. I spoke plenty about the 4-hour swing range and why I believe that we're going to be seeing higher prices, and I was very much interested in longs in these lower regions. Go back and watch that video if you want to find out more about that. But now you can see that yesterday we got that move down, but we didn't break significant lows here. So you had this area of demand here, you had that bounce off demand. It was clearly a sign that demand had stepped in. So the anticipation was that a few of these orders had now filled, and then this would become a weaker level. But what happened was you got the sweep of the Asia lows. Let's get rid of them. Got the sweep of the Asia lows, and then you got the move up. Now, I was able to catch that scalp, but I closed out too early. Well, not too early. I closed out here at this supply because my anticipation was we've had a nice move, or a nice sharp move down into this demand that was already tested. So this supply here could offer a nice rejection point where you would see that further move down. But price had a different idea, so it just continued up. You can see each candle here is just breaking the last candle's high, so it's very much an impulsive move. And because of that, as it approached this short that I mentioned yesterday, I was very iffy with it. I didn't really like it anymore because of the manner in which it approached, but I stuck to my plan and just let it happen anyway, and it only ended up at like a 0.25% loss. So, you know, it's all good. Stuck to my plan. And I did have a separate strategy that actually took a short above the previous day high, and I managed to get out of that nicely with some decent profits. So not a bad day, pretty chilled. So at this point, it becomes a bit of a decision. It becomes a bit of a decision range, this. And if you look at it from a volume profile perspective, you can see that there's been plenty of volume built up in this region here, you can see, but there's not really built up here yet. So that sort of draws me to these prices, of course. You've also obviously got this high and this high fairly equal, so you've probably got a pool of liquidity above there. I think price will be drawn to higher prices. I think price action will move higher, or it'll be drawn to higher prices, put it that way. I think you'll look to fill out that profile at least, obviously, but also the structure is bullish. I've talked about that plenty in the last video, and I'm expecting higher prices. For the moment, we're just chilling in a range, still tapping at this high here. My anticipation is if we do decide to go up, and we do decide to break this resistance, then this becomes a nice demand range or previous range that we can look for potential retest longs. So if price does get out and it comes back down and we get the retest of this zone, then there's a potentially a really nice long opportunity in that, and we could be looking up towards these levels up here. There is, let me just get rid of that. There is a fairly substantial point of control around these regions, so 4470, definitely watch that area. This whole zone above, but you still, if we did come up here, let's just hypothetically play out the scenario. If you do come up here, you reject, you come down into these regions, there's still a great long opportunity. I think you could be looking for maybe more of that. But I'm not in the predicting game, I'm in the reacting game, so let's continue. I think since this is just a range at the minute, if you do come down into these lower regions, then you've potentially got decent long opportunities. So you've got a simple enough invalidation. It was a decent enough liquidity grab that it broke. Let me get rid of that. It broke this high here, so it broke an internal high. So this was a decent enough attack on price. It broke this structural high here, and it swept liquidity. So this now becomes a decent strong low. So if price does come down into these regions here, where you've got that value area low and you've got this sort of demand region here, you've got some other levels I'll show you in a sec, you've probably got some decent scalps on the day there. Definitely something to watch out for. You'll see it here. We're just bouncing on the daily opens right now, but you've got a time point to control here. You've got the previous day value area low, and then you've got that low I talked about there. Something to be aware of course, it is a Monday previous day level, so these tend to get taken out more often in the next day or Wednesday. And we do have CPI of course, so it's going to be pretty wild at some point today around 1:30 p.m. UTC. So probably get your trading done and secure your trade way before that. Is my advice there. I think the high is going to go eventually, so let's just see what happens. We're now testing these highs again. It may not give us the opportunity at these lower prices. It may just want to go up, but like I said, if it does that, then at least we've got an idea of if price comes up, then we've got another area for potential long opportunities. Okay, look for the demand, that caused that initiation out, look for the mitigation back inside the range, and then we can look for the continuation. Okay, but yeah, another reason I think we move up is because of this. If you look at the NQ, it's been in very, very similar structure. You've got this high, this high, this high. These are all lower highs. These are lower lows. And then what happens? It broke out. Okay. ES is yet to do that. So are we going to be seeing that exact move? We'll see. Okay, have a good day. Stay safe. Remember, CPI at 1:30.